Welcome to BackToKidAgain.com. At our channel, you will be taken back to your magical childhood, where you will reunite with legendary characters like Thach-san, Tom-Kam, and many more. Before watching the video, we invite you to support our channel's sponsor, Mr. Calvin Ha-Fan, a life insurance specialist. Are you looking for a solid financial protection plan for your family and future? Let Calvin Ha-Fan, a highly experienced life insurance expert, help you find the best protection plan. Dedicated and professional consultation for all ages assistance with setting up life insurance policies across all 50 states in the U.S. Officially licensed, California. Life insurance license number 0K94959, Texas. Life insurance license number 3062871. Call now, 733-253-4509, for a free consultation and get the best insurance plan for you and your family. Protect today. Peace of mind for tomorrow. The Divine Gem. A Cham ethnic fairy tale of Vietnamese. Long ago, there lived a man of honest and upright character. Whenever he saw someone being oppressed, even if it meant loss to himself, he would do his utmost to defend them. To the weak and lonely, he always offered his help willingly. Because of this, the rich people in the area despised him. They sought ways to overpower and suppress him, forcing him to leave his home and retreat to the mountains, where he took up hunting for a living. Despite his difficult circumstances, his kind heart remained unchanged. Even when his family was short of food, he never killed pregnant animals or those nursing their young. He would rather return home empty-handed than shoot any creature while it walked side by side with its mate. Having hunted for many years, he knew the mountains and forests as well as the alleys of his village. He became familiar with the deer and antelope he often encountered. Among the animals he frequently saw were a pair of snakes, a husband and wife. These snakes were as thick as banana trees, with skin as black as charcoal, and several arm spans long. They lived together in a deep stone cave. Every morning, the couple would go out to forage for food. Whenever the female snake shed her skin, the male would drag prey back to the cave for her. That winter, it was the male snake's turn to shed his skin, and he lay still, unable to move. Suddenly, the female snake had a change of heart. Taking advantage of her husband's weakness, the female snake took up with another male snake and planned to bring him back to the cave to kill her husband. Seeing the treachery of the two snakes, the hunter was filled with anger. He hid near the entrance of the cave, intending to kill them both. But when they arrived, he only managed to shoot the female. The other male snake escaped into the forest. Later, when it was time to eat, the shedding male snake, not seeing his wife return with food, crawled to the cave entrance to look for her. There, he found her dead, an arrow piercing her head. Recognizing the hunter he often saw as the one who killed his wife, the male snake waited for a chance to take revenge. Once he finished shedding, he slithered to the hunter's house and lay in wait. That shunted night, the hunter couldn't sleep well. Waking up in the middle of the night and unable to fall back asleep, he roused his wife and told her about the female snake's betrayal and how he had shot her to save the male snake who was shedding. The male snake, waiting outside the door, heard everything. Only then did he realize that the hunter had saved his life. If the hunter hadn't killed his wife, he would have been bitten to death by her and the other male snake. His resentment turned to gratitude. The snake lowered his head and slithered through a crack in the door into the hunter's house. Hearing the noise, the hunter jolted awake, grabbing his crossbow. Seeing the snake, he raised his weapon to shoot. But the snake coiled up, lowered its head, and refrained from hissing. It nodded several times, spat out a glowing gem, and silently slithered away. Recognizing the snake he often saw, the hunter picked up the gem to examine it. He was utterly astonished. Holding the gem, he could hear the mosquitoes talking in the dark night, the ants urging each other to dig their nests, and far off, the night birds calling to one another, afraid of losing their flock. Then he clearly heard the male snake's voice. "In gratitude for saving my life, I repay you with justice." One day, the hunter killed a large wild buffalo. As he and his wife were butchering and drying the meat, a flock of crows swooped down to steal it. The hunter shouted until his throat was hoarse, but the crows kept coming. Frustrated, he loaded his crossbow and fired. Unfortunately, the arrow struck the leader of the flock. The crows carried off their leader's body along with the arrow and flew away. They soared over the plains, passing through villages and hamlets, still unable to find a way to avenge the hunter. When they flew over a river, they spotted the body of a drowned man washed up on the bank. The crows planted the arrow into the corpse. The man's relatives found the body and, along with the arrow, brought it to the king's court to demand justice. The king issued a decree across the land. Anyone with a crossbow and arrows must present themselves at court. From the high mountains to remote villages, all who owned crossbows and arrows obeyed the king's command. The hunter also went to court, bringing the gem with him. The king ordered everyone to compare their arrows with the one found in the corpse. Each person checked multiple times, but only the hunter's arrow, paired with the gem, matched. The king had him shackled, awaiting execution. Despite the hunter's pleas, the king refused to listen. The rich people from his village seized the opportunity to slander him further, and the hunter could only wait to pay with his life for the drowned man's death. In prison, longing for his wife, his home, and the mountains, the hunter couldn't sleep. In the middle of the night, thanks to the gem he carried, he heard ants crawling on the walls, urging each other. "A big flood is coming. We must go to the king's granary to steal grain to store for food. If we're too slow, we'll starve." The next morning, he heard sparrows and doves whispering to each other. "Only the king's granary has plenty. There's so much grain there." The rats, too busy playing and fearing they'd miss out, grumbled loudly. "The sparrows, doves, and ants have nearly taken all the grain from the king's granary. If we don't go compete with them, we'll starve. The flood will be massive and last for days." The hunter heard everything the doves, ants, and rats said. When the guard brought him food, the hunter told him, "Tell the king, a great flood is coming. The grain in the granary has been taken by the birds and rats to prepare for the flood. Tell the king to flee, or he'll die." The guard reported this to the king. The king sneered. "A dog teaching a tiger to jump high? If he were so wise, he would have asked me to make him an astronomer or geographer, not gone around robbing and killing. He's just scheming to escape. Lock his shackles tighter." The hunter was bound even more tightly. When his wife visited, he told her about the coming flood and asked her to return to their old village to warn the neighbors. Trusting the hunter and his wife, the villagers harvested early, stored their rice on high platforms, made rafts and boats, and prepared food. Only the rich people mocked the hunter's wife's efforts and reported her to the king. The king accused the couple of conspiring to cause chaos, sending soldiers to arrest them, binding their hands and feet, and bringing them back to await execution. The day of the execution arrived. The hunter and his wife were brought to the execution ground. They had just been tied to 2 wooden posts when strong winds began to blow and dark clouds loomed overhead. The sky turned pitch black and rain poured down. The couple, tied to the posts just a few steps apart, couldn't even see each other. The water rose to their thighs, then to their chests. The officials and soldiers all fled. The posts holding the couple were uprooted by the flood. The hunter freed himself and then untied his wife. As the water reached their necks and they struggled to swim in the vast flood, a banana raft approached. The person on the raft pulled the couple aboard. When they came to, the hunter's wife recognized their rescuer as the first person she had warned about the flood. The rain continued for days, the winds blowing fiercely. The entire royal court was submerged underwater. The kind neighbor's banana raft carried the hunter and his wife back to their old village. The rich and deceitful slanderers all drowned. Only the poor, who had heeded the hunter's wife, survived on rafts and in the tops of tall trees. The end.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to hit like to support me, share the video to spread great stories, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the latest videos. Remember to click the notification bell to get updates as soon as a new video is released. Come back to the channel often so we can explore more fascinating stories together. See you in the next video.